Hello and welcome to episode 58 of IOnTheTigers, a podcast all about the National Ice Hockey League, but one that always has an eye on the Telford Tigers. This week, it's week 2 of preseason, and then we'll take a look to the opening fixtures for the league campaign. So we'll jump straight into it, and by jumping straight into it, I mean we're going to pick up with Tigers 2, because Tigers 2 had their pre-season over the weekend. Back-to-back games against Widnes Wild. Game on Saturday night was up in Widnes, and Tigers 2 won 5-3. Sunday night, it was back in Telford, and it was a 4-1 win for Tigers 2. So 2 from 2, successful pre-season for Tigers 2. I'm sure, and I certainly hope, that they will carry that on into the league season, and there'll be another successful season for Tigers 2. So keep up the great work, Tigers 2. Delighted to have seen and got those results. In terms of the National League, pre-season fixtures, Friday evening they kicked off with Leeds Knights hosting the Sheffield Steel Dogs in the Yorkshire Cup. 7-1 victory for the Knights on home ice, so pretty comprehensive that one as a win. Not certain how close the game was, but the scoreline certainly suggests there was a clear gap between the two teams. Not quite so clear for Solway Sharks, who were hosting the Great Britain under-20s. That was a 4-3 win for the Sharks in the end, and that took penalty shots to decide, so a really close game there. Saturday night, we'll start off with the Tigers on home ice against Peterborough Phantoms, and that one finished 4-2 to the Phantoms. Also in action on the Saturday, well, every team was in action on Saturday, so we might as well run through them. We had Invicta Dynamos hosted the Romford Raiders, and that finished 10-4 to the Raiders. I say every team, I think I can count correctly, so apologies if I do end up missing a team out. Wildcats hosted the Bristol Pitbulls. Finished 5-4 with a penalty shootout win for the Wildcats. Seems to be that Bristol are a team that can, and we'll get onto this in a minute, but can cause problems for the Wildcats on a fairly consistent basis. Milton Keynes Lightning hosted the Berkshire Bees. That will finish 6-4 to the Lightning. Tigers were recovered. Sharks were in action again against Great Britain under-20s. This one was a bit more straightforward, perhaps, shall we say, for the Sharks, with a 9-3 win. And then Steel Dogs hosted the Seahawks, and that finished 5-2 to the away team, setting up a winner-takes-all clash in the final game of the Yorkshire Cup. So Sunday evening, Tigers travelled down to Peterborough, got off to a good start, but unfortunately it was Peterborough who won the game, 7-5. Bristol hosted the Wildcats, 8-1 Wildcats. Bristol, it seems, either really, really pushed the Wildcats, or it's a bit of a blowout. There doesn't seem to be sort of any in between when those two face each other. And it really can vary from one night to the next as well. It's incredible how it happens. Raiders hosted the Dynamos. And that was a 6-1 win on home ice for the Raiders. We had the Bees hosting the Lightning, which the Lightning won 4-2. And then last but not least, the final game for the Yorkshire Cup, Hull at home to Leeds. And it was a 4-1 win for Hull, which meant that they have won the Yorkshire Cup. So congratulations to them. The real business starts, I was going to say now, but realistically in this weekend. Well, actually, Friday evening, depends on whether you want to count that as this weekend. And the action gets underway here in Swindon with the Wildcats hosting the Bees. I'm going to go for a Wildcats win on home ice. Saturday night, Bees host the Phantoms. Phantoms to win that one. Pitbulls host the Seahawks. Seahawks to win that one. Lightning host the Raiders. Lightning will win. And then Sharks against the Knights. I'm going to go for Leeds to win that one, but I could see Solway pushing them to overtime potentially, maybe even penalties. Probably going to be proved massively wrong, but there we go. So that's what I'll go for the Saturday night. For the Sunday night, Tigers get the campaign underway on home ice against Solway. I'm going to go for a Tigers win. I think I'm correct in saying that the Tigers were the only team that Solway didn't beat last season, which is probably cursing what's going to happen on Sunday. But no, I'm going to be confident, and we're going to get the season up and running with a win on home ice. Knights host the Lightning. Clash of the big two in the first weekend. Knights are going to win that one on home ice. If Lightning win it, that would be a massive statement from them early in the season. But yeah, I'm going to go for Knights to win that one. Phantoms host the Steel Dogs. This is an intriguing one. Perhaps you'd favour the Phantoms, but I think the Steel Dogs have definitely got certainly enough ability to get a result there. I'm going to go for a Phantoms win. Overtime, maybe. I can see it being pretty tight throughout. Raiders host the Wildcats. Wildcats to win that one. And Seahawks host the Pitbulls. That's going to be a win for the Seahawks. So, that's pre-season done and dusted with. Run through the fixtures for week 1, along with who I think is going to win those games. As always, get in contact. Let me know where I've gone wrong with my predictions. And of course, with pre-season having been done, if you want to come on an episode of the podcast, talk about your team, what pre-season has been like for your team, and what your hopes, expectations are for the upcoming season, drop me a message. Always happy to have guests on to discuss their teams and the league. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I'll be back this time next week. Bye for now.